Hello everyone, today we'll be looking at NEM, which is um, Net Energy Metering, NEM. So Malaysia we have SEDA, which is Sustainable Energy Development Authority of Malaysia, and they have a few programs to try and promote um, energy from renewable energy, and one of the main renewable energy sources are uh, one of the main renewable energy sources is solar. So for solar power, uh, they have two um, things that two programs that they are using to promote solar usage in Malaysia. One is feed-in tariff, and one is net metering. And basically, the difference between feed-in tariff and net metering is that um, feed-in tariff, I think if you produce more than you use, you produce more electricity than you use, you're gonna sell it back to the grid, and you can get cash in return. And for net metering, um, you can only get back credit, energy credit, which will last you for 2 years. Okay, so for net metering, you don't get back cash, but you get credit instead, I think, right? But for feed-in tariff, right? If you look at SEDA's website, for feed-in tariff, their quota is already finished. Um, they already finished their quota if you check on their website. And for net energy metering, they have some updates. The new government has one of the ministers of Malaysia has introduced a new update to NEM. Okay. So SEDA has made a separate website. Their main website, their user interface is really outdated. But they have made another website. It's www.ises.gov.my/re portal. I'll link it in the description below. But over here, they have a much more friendly and attractive user interface. So we'll go through this website. Right, so NEM. What is NEM? Net Energy Metering. Um, so the Net Energy Metering, NEM, the ministry has introduced few solar PV initiatives to encourage Malaysia's renewable energy uptake. From the Renewable Energy Town Hall held on 12th July 2018, one of the key issues highlighted by the PV industry is the need to change the concept of NEM, net energy metering, from the existing net billing to true net energy metering. This will help improve the return of investment of solar PV under the net energy metering. Effective on 1st January 2019, the net energy metering will be improved by adopting the true net energy metering concept, and this will allow access solar photovoltaic generated energy to be exported back to the grid on a one-on-one offset basis. This means that every 1 kilowatt hour exported to the grid will be offset against 1 kilowatt hour consumed from the grid instead of the displaced cost previously. So basically, before this, you buy electricity from Tenaga Nasional Berhad, which is the main electricity supplying company in Malaysia. You purchase for um, 50 cents per kilo, and then you sell back. I forgot what's the unit. You purchase for 50 cents per unit, and then you sell back to them for about 30 cents per unit. So it's not really a smart choice for people to change to solar, because they don't actually make uh, they are not incentivized to do it. So one of the new ministers has changed the concept to be one-on-one offset basis. So the price that you buy electricity is equal to the price that you sell the electricity back to the grid. So this will be much more attractive for people to convert to solar energy. And this is a really smart move, because Malaysia is a country located on the equator, and we get lots of sun 365 days a year. So it's common sense to change to solar, and as we can get a lot out of it. The quota allocation for NEM is 500 megawatts up to year 2020. Quota allocation will be divided into domestic and non-domestic category. The net energy metering category has been divided into 4 categories, which are residential, commercial, industrial, and agriculture. The new net energy metering scheme is only applicable to Peninsular Malaysia, and applicants must be registered TNB customers, Tenaga Nasional Berhad customers. NEM, net energy metering, is executed by the Ministry of Energy, Science, Technology, Environment and Climate Change, regulated by the Energy Commission with Sustainable Energy Development Authority, SEDA Malaysia, as the implementing agency. So let's look at the NEM concept. The concept of NEM is that the energy produced from the installed solar PV system will be consumed first, and any excess will be exported to TNB on a one-on-one offset basis. This scheme is applicable to all domestic, commercial, industrial, and agricultural sectors, as long as they are the customers of TNB. The PV systems can be installed at available rooftops or carports within their own premises, based on FIT experience, which is feed-in tariff, which is what they did before. Solar PV is a technology that requires minimal construction and with high take-up rate compared to other renewable energy technologies. So compared to other renewable technologies, solar is requires less construction and has a higher take-up rate compared to others. One factor driving such growth is the declining cost of solar PV systems in recent years. As solar PV technology is more applicable to the NEM scheme, it's one of the technologies that allows the public at large to play an active role in mitigating climate change. It can generate clean energy, hence reducing the energy consumption and greenhouse gas emissions. So currently the energy that we are generating mostly is through the burning of oil and gas, and so this releases carbon dioxide and other products of combustion into the atmosphere, and it's not really a clean way to produce energy. So solar is the way to go. The NEM scheme is ideally suitable to complement the current FIT feed-in tariff and large-scale solar schemes in achieving the 20% national renewable energy target in electricity power mix, reducing dependency on imported fossil fuels. So what are the benefits of NEM? The energy generated by net energy metering consumers will be consumed first, which implies that less energy will be imported from the utility. In many countries, the NEM scheme is effective to hedge against fluctuation or increase in electricity tariff in the future. This is especially relevant for consumers that fall under the high electricity tariff block. Under the NEM scheme, many excess energy generated will be exported to the utility grid and will be paid on a one-on-one offset basis. The priority is for self-consumption. However, some premises, especially industrial and manufacturing sectors, which may not be operating during weekends, may have excess energy exported to the grid. The credit shall be allowed to roll over for a maximum of 24 months, which is 2 years. Maximum capacity. For domestic or residential consumers, the allowable maximum capacity of the PV system installed is 12 kilowatt for single-phase system or 72 kilowatt for three-phase system. Okay, let's look at the mode of purchase. So there are two modes of purchase. One is leasing and one is outright purchase. We'll look at this one by one. What is leasing? Via power purchase agreement, PPA, or solar leasing. So there are two schemes here, power purchase agreement or solar leasing. The enhanced NEM program has spawned new solar business opportunities for investors in which customers can opt to purchase solar electricity by signing power purchase agreement with solar investors via solar leasing program or a hybrid of both as offered by solar investors. So solar power purchase agreement, RPVSP. What's RPVSP? Registered PV service providers. PV service providers. So registered PV service providers. So they are investors and providers. So investors will invest in the providers and providers will install the solar on the roof of the site owner. So let's look at each of PPA and solar leasing. PPA stands for Power Purchase Agreement. Upfront payment is negotiable and based on agreement between investors and consumers. Worry-free maintenance and performance. Payment in energy. You will pay for solar energy generated from the PV system. Longer payback period. Also like pros and cons I think. So this side are all the pros and these are all the cons. So the cons are longer payback period, installation done by the investors, EPC contractors, system is owned by the investor. Solar leasing, worry-free maintenance and performance, longer payback period. I don't understand. So, okay, these are not arranged by pros and cons. Worry-free maintenance and performance, longer payback period, fixed monthly payment. You pay a fixed monthly rent in return for the use of the PV system. Installation done by investors, EPC contractors, system owned by investor. So for solar leasing, system is owned by the site owner after lease period end. So why would you go for PPA? If for solar leasing you get the solar panels in the end? What are the difference? Maybe the rent is higher. The monthly rent in return for the use of PV system is higher. Right, methods of payment. You can pay by direct contract or SARE. Direct contract is a two-party agreement between the consumer and investor. The investor is usually the solar provider company, but any other company can also apply to be an investor. Collection of payment between two parties. Okay, SARE you involve TNB, so tripartite agreement, consumer, investor, and TNB. Collection of payment through electricity bill, so you pay your bills to TNB as usual. But then if it's solar leasing, it's a fixed monthly payment, and then for PPA, you'll be purchasing power from the PV system. TNB charges 2 cents per kilowatt for 2 cents per kilowatt hour for service fee. Non-payment of outstanding amount, TNB may disconnect the power supply. So this one offers more security to both the consumer and investor. However, TNB will charge some service fee out of it. Right. So let's look at outright purchase. Cash or bank loan or credit card. Customers who wish to take part in the enhanced NEM scheme can do an outright purchase of the solar PV system via cash, personal loans, or credit card. Cash or bank loan or credit card. What does RPVSP stand for? Registered PV service provider. Okay, so registered. So you get a loan and then you go to registered PV solar provider, PV service provider. Registered PV service provider installs the solar PV onto your home roof. Okay, so it's a one-off payment. If you do cash, it's a one-off payment. Homeowner is the system owner. If you do a loan or credit card, payment based on system cost and interest rate. Period of payment term can vary. Fixed monthly payment. Upfront costs depend on system costs. Homeowner is system owner, maintenance, and the performance based on manufacturer. Right. Here are some guidelines. You can download it. There are some documents which are quite wordy. We might go through one of them. Guideline for especially this one, the one that's amended in 2019. Right. RPVI and RPVSP. RPVI is registered PV investor for any program which allows any company to become an investor under the solar PV projects. So local RPVI, no capacity limitation, must be locally incorporated, minimum paid up capital of 1 million. Foreign RPVI, only applicable for capacity above 250 kilowatts, must be locally incorporated, minimum paid up capital of 10 million, minimum 80% local employment is required. So these are the requirements of any company who wants to be a solar PV investor. I wonder what incentive do they get? What do you get as a solar PV investor? I read that there are some tax benefits, but other than that, I'm not sure if there's any cost benefits to this. Right, RPVSP. RPVSP is registered PV service providers, companies which include services such as consultancy, design, supply, installation, and testing and commissioning of a complete solar PV system. And you can find RPVSP directory over here if you click this. Right, so you can filter by state as well. These are all the companies that can come to your house and provide come and install solar panels on your roof and register it with NEM for you. So let's say we register, we filter by Johor Bahru. So these are the companies that provide for Johor Bahru. So you can have the contact details here. Right. You can contact them and ask for a quote of how much it's gonna cost, how much savings you're gonna expect, etc. etc. By the way, this is the old website. It's a newer website. Okay, we'll continue exploring this newer website. So how to apply? The concept of NEM is that the energy produced from the installed solar PV system will be consumed first, and then excess will be exported to TNB on a one-on-one offset basis. Let's look at the workflow. So you are the registered consumer. You're gonna go and check the NEM applicant checklist. Check NEM eligibility. TNB registered consumer, not blacklisted. Okay, so to be eligible for NEM, you have to be registered under TNB. So you are paying TNB every month for your electricity bill, and you must not be blacklisted and have no history of bill meter tampering. Right. Secondly, you're gonna check your NEM category. So most of us will be domestic. If you wanna install solar panels on top of your house roof under domestic, and the rest are others. Right. Next, know your solar PV capacity limit. It's 12 kilowatt for single phase system and 72 kilowatt for three phase system. Then these are for others. So 75% of maximum demand, or 60% of fuse rating, or 60% of current transformer rating. For these are all the companies one, commercial, agricultural, industrial ones. Check NEM quota allocation. So I've checked the availability. Go to www.seda.gov.my and go to net metering and go to NEM system. So this is SEDA, net metering, NEM system, and so this is the quota stated here, quota allocated, quota balance. So there's still a lot of quota left. So anybody interested in going to solar can take advantage of this. So NEM quota is still a lot at the moment. Appoint NEM's contractor or registered PV service provider. So you go to this site here and look for a registered PV service provider. So contact all these companies and try and get, maybe not all if you are lazy, I mean if you don't have the time, and then try to get which one can give you the best quote. Research the companies as well, how many projects have they done, how long has their company been doing this, to see how reliable they are. Right. And you can also ask about the warranty periods. Yeah. Typically for the PV panels, they have a warranty period of about 25 years for the performance warranty, and the degradation should be less than 20% at the end of the 25 years. So make sure you ask about all these things. So make sure you're getting the best quality products. Right, back to the website. So where would we? Okay, service provider. So this is for if you are installing more than 72 kilowatts, but normally we will only require less than 12 kilowatts. So we're not gonna go through this. Okay. Submit NEMAS or PSS application. What's NEMAS? NEMAS is net energy metering assessment study. PSS is power system study. So Right. It's quite confusing, this flowchart, but go through this part first. Go through this part first, and I believe all the other parts here will be settled by your registered PV service provider. Okay. And on their website, they also have an NEM calculator to calculate how much you can save by going solar. So let's try. We are domestic, so tariff A, and then building type, let's say we're on a terrace house. So average electricity bill monthly, let's say ours is 230 per month. Calculate. So they estimate everything for you. Of course, you should get your quotes from each of the registered PV service providers. However, here's a rough estimate. So you can actually drag this bar. Depending on what's the capacity that you want to install. Let's say you want to install 4 kilowatt capacity. They estimate that it will cost, upfront cost is 17,200, and you will pay back within 7.7 years. So all your savings, all your monthly savings from your electricity bills will pay back for the upfront cost of solar within 7.7 years. After 7.7 years, all the savings that you manage to get will be net savings. Like after that, it's sort of like investing in real estate, where for the first few years that you rent out your place, you have to you're not getting the cost back yet. Then after you have paid back the cost of the house, after that is all net profit, something like that. So they have quite a good estimate here. Not sure how reliable it is, but looks legit. I'll go back to the website. And NEM quota. Oh, it's here also. You can check the quota here. You don't have to go to this website. You have the same information right here. Alright. I think that's all we're gonna talk about for this video. Sayonara.